Are you okay?
So, the Danganronpa S beach sprites just got revealed, and I'm gonna do like a quick little review on each of the designs. For those of you who are new to this channel, I usually score things from a scale of 0 to 11, 0 being absolute trash, and 11 being a masterpiece with no flaws whatsoever. So, yeah, just want to let you guys know about that. And I'm also going to try to be more concise with each of my critiques and opinions on each of the designs, because last time I did something like this, the video ended up being over a half hour long and it took forever to upload, and those only included characters from the first game, the second game, and V3, not including Ultra Despair Girls, which this game actually has. So I'm gonna try to keep it more concise, just give my quick critiques, and then just score it. Now with that out of the way, let's get into it. Makoto's design is pretty basic, but I like how they added green and with the little bit of a hint of red on his swim trunks. I'd give it an 8 out of 11. That swimsuit is not welcome in a school environment, Ishimaru. What the fuck? Although with his personality, I can kinda see him wearing something like this. Also, it helped me remember that, Jesus Christ, this dude's actually swole, like goddamn. Also, I like the little addition of the whistle, 7 out of 11. I like how they try to keep it similar to his original design with, giving him a jacket and keeping it more or less the same color as his original design's jacket, but changing it up a bit with the shorts. However, I wish they had the sunglasses they have here on him. Also, they got rid of his abs. Despite that, though, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 11. I like how they try to keep it similar to the original design with similar patterns and, using the same color scheme more or less. They got rid of the purple, but other than that, I'll give his design an 8 out of 11. I really love the fact they tried to emulate his original design whilst trying to change it as well. Like, mostly change it with the shorts, giving it, like the sort of red to black look, which is pretty awesome to me. And I like how they kept his white jacket. In fact, I love it so much that I'm gonna give it an 11 out of 11. I think this is a masterpiece. I could be wrong, my opinion can change, but right now, my favorite design. Honestly, makes a lot of sense. I could totally see Yasuhiro wearing like this sort of mismatched sort of like Hawaiian shirt with like swim trunks with aliens on it. However, I feel like the aliens are like too similar color to the trunks itself, so it just sort of like mixes together almost. I'm not saying that the aliens should be like gray or green or whatever, but it's just that did it really have to make it like such a similar color to like the trunks itself? Still, I don't think it's horrible. Shihiro looks cute and the color scheme of their design just reminds me a lot of the sky. Like, like on a cloudy day with like, the blue kind of being like a sky blue sort of thing with like the swim trunks kind of being yellow like the sun. Overall, great design in my opinion, 9 out of 11. Wonder if they'd still be shy with, being dressed like that though. I honestly like Sayaka's design, and I think it's supposed to be a reference to this. I can't remember if this is like promotional art for like, the Danganronpa anime, whether that be like, the one that's based off the first game or, promotional art for like the third anime, but either way, I kind of find it weird how they made like the hair though. It just kind of felt like they drew it over her chest for like, just for the sake of it. Like, I have no problem with it, but it just looks weird in my opinion. Other than that, amazing design. Okay, Kyoko's design is definitely a reference to the third anime promotional art. Only thing missing is the ponytail, which I actually really liked in that design. I also like how they kept her gloves on. Hell, in the original game when she was by the pool, she also had her gloves still on. Also a ponytail. I wonder why they didn't, just try to give her a ponytail. But honestly, that's kind of a bit of a nitpick. Still a great design overall. Honestly, this swimsuit's pretty basic for Hina, but the colors are pretty good. I do like how it's like a reference to the promo art for Danganronpa 3, the anime. Not a terrible design, 7 out of 11. Genocide Jack and Toku Fukawa. Only reason why I'm putting these two together because they're technically like split personalities of each other, but other than that, their swimsuits are pretty similar. I do like how for Genocide Jack, she doesn't have this skirt thing that Toko has, and kind of wears like this sort of like, she keeps the amount of people she's killed, like, kind of scarred on her legs. So I kind of like how it's still there. Like, she just removes it and like wears it with, pride almost, as Toko covers it up. They also changed up, her color scheme a bit to be a bit more blue, despite, her original design being, like, very much purple. But I don't hate it. 10 out of 11 for both designs. Despite her more muscular stature and, kind of, I guess you could say masculine features, I do like how they kept, like, the femininity with her clothes in her design. 10 out of 11 as well. I actually expected Celeste to wear like a sort of one piece with like, a skirt that she's wearing right now, but honestly, this is not bad. This is actually really good. This will be my second 11 out of 11. At first, I was kind of disappointed with Junko's swimsuit design, because it's actually pretty basic. But then I thought about her character and realized, yeah, she'd probably wear something that's pretty plain and basic if she wants to cause herself the most despair. 8 out of 11. Mukuro. Even in like a spin-off game, you can't get your own sprites and you still gotta pretend to be Junko. However, if she's still trying to pretend to be Junko, I'd say she's pretty fashionable. 10 out of 11. Oh my god, of course Monokuma would wear a Speedo. And also, I like the little addition of the visor and like I don't remember what that thing is called, boogie board or something? But like those little additions just make the design, work like really well instead of just being plain and basic. Can't think of anything better for the mascot for this game. Hajime's swimsuit design is kind of basic, and honestly, I mean, I can't tell what the pattern is supposed to be exactly. It looks like a leaf. I mean, I didn't really get the best image out there, but, I kind of like the bright orange and, like, red-orange color scheme it kind of got going on. So I'm gonna just skip the orange juice Hajime Hinata meme and just give it a 6 out of 11. It's not awful, it's just meh to me. Okay, so they kept Nagato's design from the trailer, and honestly, I really liked the jacket, and I never got to see the swim trunks, but the swim trunks go really well with it. I also like how they kept the pattern on his original jacket on, the jacket he has here. That small little detail gives it an 11 out of 11. Imposter Byakuya's design is pretty much the same as Byakuya's design, just with a white jacket instead, so I'll give it a 9 out of 11 as well. I really like Gundam's shorts and how it still has that cross theme with it. I also really like, how he keeps his scarf on. Which, fun little fact, in the Danganronpa 2 CG, he also keeps, his scarf on as well. My only wish is that they somehow got his hair from Danganronpa 3 into the design. I mean, honestly, to me, the hair in the anime here is way superior to his original hair. But overall, it's a pretty great design. I like how they try to keep the same color scheme and pattern on his shorts, but here the green just seems different. Like, here's the green in this design, and then here's the green in his original design. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's just, different to me. Pretty good design overall, though. I never would have thought that Teruteru has an Audi. But in all seriousness though, I really like the rose pattern on his shirt and shorts. It brings a bit of life to him, and it's like, it kind of fits his personality a little bit. Of like, him trying to get this sort of high city flavor sort of thing, uptown flavor sort of thing. Never thought I'd say this, but 10 out of 11. Nekomaru is in a Speedo again. I find it cool they kept his chain and whistle, and the Speedo has a bit of color to it with that light blue there, if you look close enough. Not a bad design, 7 out of 11. Fuyuhiko's design isn't bad. I like how they added the chain, but I'm surprised how they didn't add Yakuza tattoos. Like, do teenage Yakuza get tattoos? I'm not completely sure on that. I mean, I tried to do research on it, but I couldn't really find any reliable information on it. So right now, I mean, I'm mildly disappointed that they didn't like give him like some sort of tattoo or anything, some sort of Yakuza tattoos or anything. Still a good design though. And also, please correct me if I'm wrong about, like, teenage Yakuza getting Yakuza tattoos and stuff. Akane Iwari's design is pretty basic, but then again, it's Akane Iwari. I don't think she's wearing anything fashionable. Also, they use the same swimsuit she uses in the game, which it isn't bad, but I don't know. It's like Blue doesn't really fit with her personality. She's more energetic, outgoing, and is trying to start, fights with people and stuff. Or at least, trained to be like, someone who fights strong people. Like, she just really wants to fight strong people, and I feel like she should have, like, a much more warmer, like, aggressive color like red. Still, I wouldn't say the design is terrible, just meh, in my opinion. I kind of like Chiaki's design a bit. I mean, it's, all white, there's not much to it. I like the little addition of her still having her backpack because in the original game, she brought, like, games in her backpack, I assume, to play at the beach. So it's really faithful to, like, the original game. Honestly, to me, the design's not too bad. 8 out of 11. Oh, would you look at that? Sonia's not wearing a wetsuit this time. But in all seriousness though, when I think princess in like a swimming suit, Sonia's outfit comes to mind. This honestly looks pretty good and I really like, the color of it as well. It goes well with, her personality. 10 out of 11 for me. Honestly, her outfit's alright. I mean, I would assume that she'd also wear a one piece similar to Celeste, but the part that kinda confuses me a bit is why she chose green. Like, I don't know why she would choose the color green instead of, like, because her original design was more orange or, like, something that, is not green. Because when I think Hiyoko, I don't think Hiyoko would wear green. I don't think, Hiyoko and green would mix well. 6 out of 11 for me. My hero keeps her camera on her at all times. But in all seriousness, though, her swimwear isn't too bad. I mean, it's just, blue with like white polka dots. It's alright. It's nothing too crazy. But when I think Mahiru, I don't think, blue with white polka dots at all. But it's not really bad design. 7 out of 11. Okay, so Mikon's is pretty plain. It's just plain white. I mean, I'm not sure what I was expecting. I mean, I guess I was expecting like some sort of color, anything, like maybe pink or something, but it's just all white. It's not bad, but it's just pretty meh. I do like how they still kept her bandages on her though, but I'd still have to rate it 6 out of 11. I mean, plain works for her. I mean, I would imagine her in like a plain bathing suit, but it's just too plain. I like how they incorporated the blues and purples in her hair into her bathing suit, and I cannot tell if that's, some sort of belt she's wearing. It's pretty unique, which makes sense for Ibuki's unique personality. It's an 8 out of 11 for me. Peko's design's pretty alright. She still keeps her sword on her at all times, and it seems like her hair's still up. And honestly, I kind of liked, her design better in the original game where her hair is actually down. But I guess, that could just be a nitpick. Considering how the bathing suit and, like, the color of the design matches with her personality a bit, I would just give it a 7 out of 11. I never would have expected Izuru Kamakura to show up, but okay. I mean, honestly, he wouldn't care much about what bathing suit he wears, so it kind of makes sense for him to wear a plain black one. The design to me is pretty boring, pretty meh. I'll just give it the same score as Hajime's, 6 out of 11. I also never would have expected Monami to get swimwear, but here we are. Honestly, her design isn't awful, but if, one minor thing I would change is, like, the color of, like, her one piece, I'd switch around the colors so that pink was on her white side and black was on her other side. It's like, it just makes more sense to me that way. Because, like, the pinks kind of, I wouldn't say they're obviously not the same shade of pink, but they do kind of just come together. Like, they're too similar, in my opinion. I appreciate the creativity though, 7 out of 11. And then here's Usami's. I don't really have much to say. I guess it's alright, it's fine. It's nothing too crazy. I'll just give it a 6 out of 11. Komaru's bathing suit is fairly basic. It's mostly just one color. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's pretty good. It's alright. Personally, I wish they used this design instead because it looks cooler, but, I mean, I can't really change it now, can I? There's not much I can say, 7 out of 11. Masaru's shorts have like a pretty cool pattern on them. Yeah, there's not much I can really say about Masaru's design. I mean, it has pretty good colors. Honestly, color-wise, it's fairly simple, but like, the extra push they do with the, patterns on his shorts is pretty cool. 9 out of 11. I find it kind of interesting that Jotaro still has his mask on. The camo pattern on his jacket's pretty cool. I like how they still have the jacket, go over his hands. And the shorts are pretty alright. 7 out of 11. I can see Kotoko wearing something like this. I mean, the pattern on her bathing suit matches with her bow, which is in her original design. 9 out of 11. I wasn't expecting much from Nagisa. I mean, his shorts look similar to the Byakuya shorts for his bathing suit. But other than that, there's not really much I can say about this. I mean, it's pretty plain. 6 out of 11. Honestly, Monika's bathing suit reminds me a lot of her, original design, aka this one, which makes me curious whether or not she has, the spine pattern you see here on the back of her bathing suit. If she does, then, I'd probably bump this up a point, but I have to base it off what I see. I also really like how they try to keep her silhouette with this, close to that of her original design, so I'll give it a 7 out of 11. Next up we got Kurokuma. They kept his hat and removed the tie that he had, but they added on, those heart shades that you see. I like how they tried to make his shorts a similar color to, the chain he has, as well as, the grill he has. And then they gave him what I assume is a water gun. I wasn't expecting, all the mascot characters to get, beach sprites, but, I mean, here we are. And I'll have to give Kurokuma a 10 out of 11. This is a pretty great design. Next we got Shirokuma. Honestly, there's not much I could say about this design. They just put a sun cap on Shirokuma, as well as giving him a swim belt. I mean, the swim belt has an interesting pattern on it. Overall though, I'd say it's still a good design. 7 out of 11. Finally, we got Hiroko, who has probably my least favorite beach sprite out of all the Ultra Despair Girl characters. Most of her bathing suit is covered up by how she's posed and her jacket. The jacket's all black here, unlike her original design, which is more colorful as you see here. I mean, I can't see most of the swimsuit. The color looks good on her, but it's just I can't see most of the swimsuit, so I can't really say much about the design of the swimsuit. Honestly, it's not awful, but it's just I can't see enough of it. 5 out of 11. Shuichi's jacket and shorts are pretty basic, but at least it's more than shorts. I also do like that it's even though the shorts are basic, they actually, brighten it up from his original colors. 7 out of 11. I love how Kaito wears galaxy shorts. In the original game, he has this galaxy pattern in his jacket that I really liked, and I'm glad to see that it's here. My only wish is that they somehow managed to work his jacket into there, or some sort of jacket Shuichi has in his design. and that he wore his jacket in a similar way he does in the game. Honestly, the pattern on his shorts is what carries this design the most. 9 out of 11. Nice to see Ryoma get that ball and chain removed. But in all seriousness though, I'm gonna miss the fact that he, kinda got rid of his cap. I mean, I wish they could have, worked it into the design and just recolored it to be white like they did here. In his original design, his pattern was like black and blue, but here they changed it to like white and blue. Still a great design in my opinion, 9 out of 11. I like how they kept his accessories, but honestly, to me, Rantaro just went from avocado to watermelon with those shorts. 8 out of 11. I like how Gonta kept his bug container in his design. The pattern on his shorts is also really cool. Green's a pretty good color on him. 10 out of 11. Oh, thank God. They got rid of his abs. But they also got rid of his cool jacket. Honestly, I don't hate the shorts design, and I like how they made the purple more vibrant, but it's still fairly basic. 6 out of 11. Also, is it me or does he seem way scrawnier than he does in the game? Anyways, next we got Kurokuma. And he's still wearing his mask. I find him wearing a wetsuit pretty interesting, and I guess, out of all the characters who would, wear a wetsuit, I guess Kurokuma wearing one makes the most sense. It also looks like he still has bandages on his hands, and the pattern on his right arm and shoulder is pretty cool. 8 out of 11. I find the fact that he has a pool belt and goggles kind of funny. Like, there's nothing else different about him, and this design's definitely made as a joke. I cracked up when I first saw this design, 9 out of 11. I honestly expected a one piece with like some sort of skirt for Kurumi. Like, I'm not saying something like Celeste, but something probably like Celeste adjacent. It's not really a bad design, but it just doesn't seem to fit Kurumi for me. 6 out of 11. I find Himiko's bikini pretty unique, and the color of it matches her eyes as well. They changed it from what she originally had in the game, but I honestly like this one better. Maybe I would change it to red, but honestly it's fine being brown. 10 out of 11. Maki's swimsuit's also pretty basic, but considering her talent of the ultimate child caregiver, or, her real talent being the ultimate assassin trying to play as the ultimate child caregiver, I wasn't really expecting something super extravagant. 7 out of 11. I like how Tenko's swimsuit matches with her headband, at least color-wise, and I know that it looks like there's some sort of pattern on it, but I can't tell what it is because, the sprite isn't really, that high quality when zoomed in. It's pretty basic, but I would still give it a 7 out of 11. I'm not sure why the designers are so insistent on putting Samugi in yellow. Like, the sash on her prom dress also had, like, this, yellow color. Personally, I think she should have had, like, a blue-green or, like, the aquamarine that she had for, like, the dress itself from a prom dress as, for swimwear. Like, I wish it had that same color. Like, it's kind of part of her character to be, like, plain and, for her to be insistent on being plain and stuff. Still, it's not awful, 7 out of 11. Personally, my least favorite beach sprite. They literally just removed her yellow overcoat that she wears. Or is it some sort of raincoat? And that seems to be about it. They didn't even remove, like, her art supplies either. Like, they sort of did the same thing to her in the game, but this is like a secret scene. So you could not even see it unless you, like, tried to look for it. I don't want to judge it too harshly because it's, mostly similar to, like, the original design, but I fear it may be too similar. 4 out of 11. Next is Miu with what I can only assume is a cheetah print bikini. Honestly, it sort of makes sense. There's not much I can say other than, this is definitely something I could see Miu wearing. 8 out of 11. Kaede's bikini is basic. There's not really much I could add. The color blue makes sense, like, because the color blue is supposed to represent confidence and intelligence and creativity and stuff, and I feel like, Kaede is kind of those things. It also could represent trust, loyalty, which is also qualities that Kaede has. But honestly, it's just plain to me. Personally, I'd give her like one of those skirt bikini things and give it a similar musical note pattern that her original skirt and her original design has. And then this design would go okay to like great for me. Otherwise, it's a 6 out of 11 for me. And with that, those are all the new beach sprites. Honestly, I don't really have much more to say about them. I think the designs were pretty good for the most part, but then there was like those few, like Angie and Hiroko's that were just, which is really strange because for the most part, like all the designs in Danganronpa were pretty great. Honestly, I really hope this game comes out on PC as well as the Switch because, well, I lost a charger to my Switch, so I either have to buy a completely new one or just buy a completely new Switch because when you use like an off-brand charger for the Switch, you can't actually, play it on TV anymore. All you could do is just charge the Switch itself. Now, with that out of the way, thanks for watching.